Daily News. Today marks the beginning of Police Week, and we have an exclusive interview with SAPD's Richard Espinoza. The old Heff's location on Sherwood Way is seeing some change, and a man was arrested for making a false report to police. Those stories and more. I'm James Bellini, and this is Live. We'll get to the news in a minute, but first, whether you need a personal loan to consolidate debt, a credit card full of perks, or a checking account that protects you and your money, Texas Trust Credit Union has your back. There are currently 2 locations in San Angelo to serve you. Their newest location is at 3712 FM 2288, right behind the Chick-fil-A on Sherwood Way. That's pretty convenient for those people there in the Bluffs and in Southland. The other location is downtown at 337 West Toohig Avenue, and they're all over North Texas. To find out where, visit Texas Trust Credit Union online at texastrustcu.org. That's Texas Trust and the letters cu.org. Now, on to the news. Starting things off is the locally owned El Paisano Mexican restaurant is taking over the old Heff's Burgers location located at 2902 Sherwood Way. The opening date right now is unclear, but there's a big sign out front that says they are taking applications, and you can apply in person at the other El Paisano restaurant located at 1406 Chadburn Street. San Angelo just can't seem to get Heff's off the ground, as this was their second attempt to open a restaurant here locally, and it was only at that location very briefly. A San Angelo man, or victim, has been arrested after calling the police to the Red Roof Inn for a stabbing victim. 19-year-old Joseph Garcia was arrested on Saturday for making a false report. Around 8:45 that night, a stabbing call came across the police scanners, so they flocked to 4502 South Bryant Boulevard, where the Red Roof Inn and City Limits is located. On scene, police realized the report was false, as Garcia said he had gotten stabbed himself. He was arrested and booked into the Tom Green County Jail and was released on $1,000 bond. Literally called the police on himself. The San Angelo Live mobile app is the best in the business. Download today on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. It's free and always keeps you up to date with news in San Angelo. Speaking of knife attacks, 2 women were indicted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after they stabbed Jermaine Johnson. Ebony Gasca and Shavetra Mathis were arrested in connection with the stabbing death of Johnson. Police responded to the 300 block of West 13th Street for an actual stabbing victim. On scene, they located Johnson and transported him to the hospital, where he later died. Police interviewed Gasca, who said she was in an altercation with Johnson before she stabbed him with a, quote, prison shank in the driveway of her residence. Mathis allegedly saw this struggle outside and ran outside to help Gasca, and then she allegedly stabbed Johnson as well. Gasca was originally arrested for murder, but was indicted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Mathis was arrested for hindering the apprehension of Gasca and was indicted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon as well. Today marks the beginning of Police Week. Today, a flag-raising ceremony was held at the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office, and it was done in honor of fallen law enforcement. Keynote speakers included Texas Rangers Major Wayne Matthews and Congressman August Pfluger. San Angelo Live actually had an interview today with SAPD's Public Information Officer Richard Espinoza, so stay tuned for that after sports. Into weather, did you enjoy the rain yesterday on Mother's Day? Well, get ready for more later this week, but right now it's 84 degrees outside and sunny. Tonight, the low drops to 57 degrees. Tomorrow, the high is 84, and tomorrow night, the low is 68. Wednesday, the high jumps back up into the 90s with a high 93, but Wednesday afternoon, clouds should start rolling into the Concho Valley, and Wednesday night, the low is 66 with a 40% chance of thunderstorms. Thursday, the storms stick around with a 30% chance of storms. The high is going to be 89, and that night, the low will be 62. Friday, there is a slight chance of thunderstorms with 20%. When we come back, we'll talk all about ASU baseball, their track and field and tennis teams, and then San Angelo Police Department's Public Information Officer Richard Espinoza stops by to talk about Police Week. But first, a word from the Bass Bunch.
It's our giant tag sale at Jim Bass Cars and Trucks.
Just cutting up tags for our giant tag sale.
Right now, during our giant tag sale, you can get a new 2024 Nissan Rogue for just $340 per month.
Don't miss our giant tag sale, only at Jim Bass Cars and Trucks, Houston Hart and Arden Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
In sports, first up is the LSC Outdoor Tournament that was held this weekend, and ASU returned some champions. Y'all are going to have to bear with me on some of these names, and I apologize if I mispronounce them. Mark Burden won the decathlon, and the ASU Rams team of Max Wasmert, Bosman Pinkra, Antonio Blair, and Prince Frimpong won the 1600-meter relay. On the women's side, Abby Zamzow won the long jump, Cameron Barrows won the pole vault, Avery Griffith won the 100-meter hurdles, and Fatoumata Cabo won the 400-meter hurdles. The Rambell's 1600-meter team of Cabo, Zakia McDaniel, Kylie Frush, and Shade Finley, and I apologize again, won gold as well. The ASU Rams team also entered the NCAA tournament as the 6th seed in the South Central region. They'll play West Texas A&M first in Grand Junction, Colorado. The Rambell's softball season is over, but head coach Travis Scott said he will have a lot of the team returning next season. Also, pitcher Cheyenne Floyd won the D2 CCA South Central Region Pitcher of the Year. She struck out 167 batters and held them to a .27 batting average. You can check out Scott and Kevin Brooks' press conference on SanAngeloLive.com. Also, ASU's women's tennis team is headed to the first round of the national championship. Head coach Jason Pothoff spoke to the media today as well. Congrats on the great season's Rambell softball team, and good luck to ASU tennis and the Rams baseball team going forward. And for more sports in the Concho Valley and beyond, keep checking on SanAngeloLive.com.
Ew, that sounds gross.
Deep down, upholstered furniture is dirtier than it looks. Carpet Tech safely cleans all types of furniture and mattresses, killing germs and removing spots and odors. Right now, get 15% off upholstery cleaning from Carpet Tech. Call or schedule online at carpettech.com.
If your home is in a wreck, call Carpet Tech, yeah.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
Well, welcome back. I'm Joe Hyde, publisher of San Angelo Live. I'm with Officer Richard Espinoza. He's a spokesperson for the San Angelo Police Department, and we are kicking off Police Week this week. So, Richard, what is Police Week, and why does it matter?
So, Police Week is a national holiday that's celebrated the second week of May, and it's a big thing for us in law enforcement because it gives us the opportunity to honor and remember all the officers who lost their lives in the line of duty, as well as honor the officers that are currently out there enforcing the laws, working for their department, sheriff's officers and offices and local agencies. So it gives us a whole week to be able to honor those with specific events that we hold on a local level for anybody who wishes to participate.
So today we had a flag raising ceremony. I guess it was kind of a memorial service at the sheriff's office.
Yes, sir. The Tom Green County Sheriff's Office did an awesome job as far as doing the flag raising ceremony this morning. There was a lot of people in attendance, a lot of local agencies there, and it gives us the ability to kick off Police Week in a formal manner with the raising of the flags and then setting them down to half-mast. It was a really special event for us because not only were we kicking off the Police Week events, but we're also recognizing the local officers who lost their lives in the line of duty, in which Sheriff Hanna and August Pfluger actually presented flags to family members and co-workers of officers who had perished in the line of duty.
Okay, so we had the big flag raising this morning. What's up next?
Up next, we actually have a public event, which is going to be the SAPOC, the San Angelo Police Officers Coalition's second annual memorial run, which is going to take place tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the San Angelo Police Department. It is a relatively large event. It's a completely free event for anybody to show up.
Okay, I'm going to run in it.
Yeah,
I'll be there. I might not come in first, but I'll run in it.
Yes, sir. I'll be there as well too.
Are you going to run?
I wanted to run, but unfortunately, I'm going to be helping organize everything.
So I got to tell you a funny story about your chief, Frank Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was in a fun run down there on the river and started behind Whiskey River and went all the way down to the Chadburn Street Bridge and back. It was like a 3-mile deal, something like that. And I was kind of like, just a little bit unsure about it because I hadn't been running much. And Carter's there in full uniform. He says, "I'm going to run."
Yes,
right?
sir.
Well, you know what he did? He said he starts goosing me like, "I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you," and all this kind of stuff. Well, I'm running and I'm way ahead of him or whatever, and I'm going to do my 3 miles, right? Anyway, he turned around like, I don't even know, like not 300 yards or so. He turned around, came back, and then the whole time he's telling me how badly he beat me. I'm like, man, that's so unfair. But anyway, I'm going to be there. I hope Frank Carter is there. I want a rematch.
I definitely would encourage him to show up so y'all can get that rematch. So I'll talk to him myself directly later on this afternoon. But I do recall him being in full uniform running. I actually ran that event that year with him as well, too.
Did you turn around with him?
Oh, no, I did the full thing.
You did the full thing. All right.
Yes, sir.
But running in uniform, right? I was in the Air Force, and before that I was in the Corps Cadets at A&M. Running in fatigues was the worst.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely the worst. I can't imagine running in nylon.
It is definitely an experience that if you get the opportunity to try it or do so, I would suggest trying it at least.
All right, so tomorrow at 6 o'clock is the fun run, which we're all going to be there.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to race you.
All right, sounds good to me.
And Frank Carter. You tell him he better be there.
I will tell him, and I'll put my running shoes on just for that. So.
All right. And then what's next?
So we have the ecumenical service at Sierra Vista United Methodist Church. It'll be Friday.
And Sierra Vista is the Methodist church is out here on the Loop on the southwest side.
Yes, sir. That's where it is. And that is going to be a service where we actually have a slideshow of all the fallen Texas peace officers who perished this past year. And it is a very, I guess you could say, it's a very memorable service because it's something that, a lot of law enforcement officers will be there as well as their families, and they get to see this slideshow of the fallen officers. And it's definitely something that, from the civilian standpoint, we would like for them to experience as well, too, to show how much of a sacrifice that we take on our end, whether it be from the police officer standpoint or their family standpoint, to be able to do the job that we do every single day.
I'll add to that. It's important that we honor public servants who die in the line of duty.
Yes, sir.
Whether they be the military, firefighters, police, because if we don't honor them, who wants to come behind them?
Absolutely.
It really is. That's the bottom line. If we don't honor those who sacrifice their lives ahead of time, then who's going to want to sacrifice their lives in 5-10 years?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, no one joins the police or the military to sacrifice their life, but that's part of the deal.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, you're dealing with criminals. Basically, you're dealing with combat.
Yes, sir.
So.
And I can tell you, whenever it comes down to, we do whatever we can to make sure that every single one of us goes home on a daily basis to our families and our loved ones. Here in San Angelo, the San Angelo Police Department does a really good job in training its officers to make sure we do make it home at every single day.
All right. So after the service, that's on Wednesday.
That's on Friday.
On Friday.
Yes,
sir.
Is
there anything else that's with the public?
So those are primarily the public events. We do have a lot of private events for local law enforcement here in town, which we've already shared all that information with the surrounding local agencies. And it's just, we have some social events where we're going to actually, feed some of our officers as well as...
I know I donated a lot of barbecue to that thing.
Yes, sir. We do appreciate the donation, and I feel like it is something that, our officers are truly appreciative of, because, ultimately we do get, thank you for your service, almost I do personally on a daily basis whenever I'm out in uniform and I'm working. And it really does mean a lot to live in a community here in San Angelo that fully supports its law enforcement and its first responders and its military as well, too. So,
years ago, back in 2015, we had the tragic crash of Sergeant Corby Kennedy.
Yes, sir.
And of course, Corby Kennedy and I became close because that was back when we were really building the San Angelo Live, and he was in the traffic division, and he explained a lot of the intricacies to me, so John Vasquez and I could not report bad things. We want to report good things. But
yes, sir.
One of the things that surprised a lot of the people in the police department at the time was the outpouring of support for the community. They didn't know that the police department had that much support.
Yes, sir.
So that's one of the things that I wouldn't say exposed it, but I think it highlighted how much support San Angelo has for the San Angelo Police Department.
Absolutely. And, not only do the citizens here in San Angelo have support for their local law enforcement agencies, but also for agencies as well, too. Whenever we lost those deputies a couple of years ago as well, too.
Concho County.
Correct. The streets were lined.
By the way, on that, the trial for that is being delayed because they're trying to get a change of venue. And I think what happened was in Concho County, two deputies were basically gunned down in the front of a guy's house.
Yes, sir.
And they both perished. And the trial's just been, just kind of rolling and rolling. I finally looked and I said, what's going on? This has been like 3 years ago, but it's a murder of police officers or of law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
And they're trying to get it moved to either Austin or Tom Green County.
Yes, sir.
The trial. So that's probably going to come up in 2025 of all times.
Oh, wow.
So
I can say from a law enforcement standpoint, we always hope that whenever it comes down to somebody receiving justice, that the hands of justice are swift and that they, people are held accountable for their actions. And nonetheless, if it happens now or in 2025, I feel like ultimately, people will have to answer for what they did.
So when you're dealing with the public, all right, I mean, in the Air Force, flying a jet, if something goes wrong, there's like maybe 6 actions that you have to memorize. They're called boldface. So let's say if you had an engine fire, it's throttle off, fuel shut off switch, pull, and then the other things like maybe turn on the extinguisher or something like that, right?
Yes, sir.
But you had to memorize that. Or if you get into a spin, most people can recite to you the spin recovery for a T-37 if they went through Air Force training. That's the same thing with using a firearm, isn't it, for you guys? It's boldface. I mean, you got to think. You got to think so fast, and you probably have to go through so many procedures in your mind.
So I can honestly say, whenever it comes down to it, the use of our firearm or any type of force in law enforcement depends on the situation that we currently face at that time. So there's no similar situation that we can actively, put into a book and say, this is how you're going to handle it directly every single time, because every situation's different. And my level of training might be different than somebody else's, or either greater or lesser. It just all depends. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, when you're in that situation directly yourself, it's hard for anybody else outside of it to quarterback it and sit here and say that they would do this or do that. It all depends on what the officer was seeing, feeling.
But it's always going to get quarterbacked.
Yeah, correct. It always is, and we definitely understand that.
Right.
I mean, even from a law enforcement standpoint, because I receive questions almost weekly regarding how would you handle this situation when somebody shows me a video and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Typically because of I wasn't in it, I wasn't there to see it. I don't know what happened before the body camera came on and what happened afterwards. So it's
the same thing if you crash an airplane. Yeah. There's a lot of backseat drivers the next day.
Correct. That's typically what it is. But ultimately, we do what we can to make sure that the mistakes that we make today aren't the ones that we make tomorrow.
All right. Well, this is Police Week all week. We have 3 events. Let's go over them real quick. We just had one, so that's over.
Flag raising ceremony,
all
yes.
Right. We have a fun run at 6 p.m. at the police department building.
Yes. So that actually, the event starts at 4:30, but the run starts at 6. So we encourage everybody to get there, get hydrated.
You're going to make us eat?
Well, so that's completely up to y'all on that. And I know me personally that we're going to have a taco truck for the 50 first people that show up getting a free plate of tacos.
I want to make sure that Frank Carter's there early if he's going to run to eat lots of tacos.
Yeah, there you go. Get him filled up on that. But then we also have a healthy alternative as well, too, from the Re-Up San Angelo. We're going to have fruit cups. It's going to have a variety of fruit.
Cups.
So we're going to have all the water provided. We're going to have some bananas, oranges, and stuff just kind of off on the side for anybody who might want to eat those before or after the race. Okay. So my suggestion, eat after the race. Don't.
That's my suggestion, too. That's what you're going to do.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm telling you, I might have a banana before or whatever. Keep the cramping to a minimum, but everything's going to be supplied. We're going to have shade, seating, chairs, tables. It's going to be a fun event, and we're going to also have door prizes as well too for anybody.
6 o'clock Tuesday. What is today? May 12th.
Yes, sir.
That'll be the May 13th. The next one is the memorial service, which is going to be a Friday.
Yes.
At
11 a.m.
11 a.m. at Sierra Vista Methodist Church.
Yes, sir. So that'll be a public event for anybody to show up to the actual service itself. After the actual service, it's we're going to have a lunch provided to us by the Pit Barbecue, and it's going to be for law enforcement and their families to attend.
All right. Well, this is Richard Espinoza. I'm Joe Hyde, and now back to the studio.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Conos at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thanks for watching the Live Daily News Show, the only locally owned live news show in the Concho Valley. Go like us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and all the other social media platforms, and download the San Angelo Live mobile app to stay up to date on all the news from in and around the Concho Valley. I hope all you mothers out there had a great Mother's Day yesterday. Thanks again, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.